It is truly an honorary moment here on the channel. We're doing the face reveal. I don't have a tree, I'm not John Scarce, so we'll just go like this. Our audio might be a little worse today because I've got a little rig set up down here with my mic and everything, but yeah, this is me. It's crazy. Oh man, my glasses look terrible. Oof, yikes. Hoping this turns out good because we're recording this on a phone. Dirty glasses and all. And I've got papers here too. So I'm gonna be looking down at it. It's gonna be like a Reddit AMA, except all the mysticism and mystique is completely gone, and you're dealing with a middle, lower class, overweight white man. So no, no models, nothing today. What you see is what you get. So before I actually cover the full-on Q&A, I have a bunch of questions here. I did want to cover a couple that I've just seen 150 times on different things over the last couple of months when people were waiting for a QA to come back. One was essentially, let's see, what was it? I didn't write this one down. It was what inspired me to make Batman Arkham videos or focus the channel around that. And I do want to say two things. One, believe it or not, I never had the intention to, still don't really, in terms of focusing the channel around it. It is a passion of mine for sure. It always will be, and there will always be videos about it, but it's not the only thing I do. What really did make me want to make it though was I started noticing a lot of literary stuff and interesting character choices and designs and stuff like that in that series when I was playing them. And as someone who has a background in that, which I'll get into in this Q&A as well, it made me really interested. I've always loved that character, and that content's not going anywhere either. But, to the other people who want other stuff, don't worry. So do I. We meet in the middle, and we do both. It's fun. Now, I do want to say thank you so much for 50K. It does mean a lot to me. It's crazy. I can't believe we're here, and I'm hoping we'll be here again in our 25 or 50K or whatever. I'm not going anywhere unless I get pushed off the platform somehow. So in terms of your actual questions that I have written down, we are going to cruise through some of these because I have quite a few, and I got like 100 of them. It's crazy. So I'm trying to answer as many as I can today. So the first question I have is actually from Harley. Other than reading comics, watching films, etc., what is your favorite thing to do away from the camera? Play video games. Actually, I love playing video games. I love, well, you already mentioned television, watching films and stuff like that. I like going for walks. I definitely like working out, even though I don't really look like it right now. I'm trying to get back in better shape. This quarantine has kind of devastated me physically as well, and becoming a workaholic and putting too much time into things has not helped. That's something I'm definitely trying to get better about, that I've seen other YouTubers talk about. It's very hard to turn off, like when you're working at home, you're always thinking, well, I could go play Bloodborne, or I could go watch a movie, or I could go for a walk, but I could work on this project I have to do. I could work on this thing. And it's harder with YouTube because I enjoy doing it. So my brain kind of connects the having fun and working thing together, which, oh no, first world problem. But that's something I've definitely tried to get better about and not just worked only. Question number 2, Gary, what do your friends and family think about you doing YouTube? Also, I love your videos. Gary, I love you. Thank you very much. In terms of my friends and family, what they think about me doing videos, my mom thinks it's real weird. My mom's very supportive and I love her to death. But I think that it's a definite, like there's a little bit of a divide in terms of it being surreal to her. And I think it is to me as well, because I'm not really used to this many people actually caring what I have to say about much anything. Question from Brian, who is the main character you play as? Who is the main character you play as in Injustice 2? Sorry if you have answered before. I'm usually not able to join the streams. Well, Brian, first off, those streams are all archived for your viewing pleasure later on. Shameless self-promotion. There is a playlist. Be sure to check it out. Secondly, in terms of who I play mainly in Injustice, I wanted to be good at Red Hood, but I'm terrible. I suck. I'm really bad as Red Hood. So most of the time it's either Batman or Starfire. Definitely love playing as Starfire. I've gotten kind of good as Robin and Flash. That's mainly it. And I'm not really that great at that game. I mean, pretty much probably 9 times out of 10, I play someone online, I lose. Playing the computer is very different from playing people who have dedicated hundreds of hours to perfecting their gameplay on this game. Whereas I play all this different stuff in my free time. I don't really practice one thing for that long just because I don't have as much free time. So I don't know. I'm not really that great. Next question from Bobo. What's your favorite and least favorite movie of all time? My favorite movie of all time is actually Blade Runner. The original Blade Runner, Final Cut, is probably my favorite movie of all time. Donnie Darko is up there as well. In terms of what my least favorite movie is, I'd have to think about that because I actually don't hate that many movies. There's a lot I don't like. I really hated Brightburn. I really hated that movie, and I actually just posted a review of it. If you have not watched that review, that might be my least favorite movie of all time. I was trying to think about it. That one is, in my opinion, that is an awful movie. I really dislike it. Question from Blue Sphere. Who is your favorite Robin? I'm personally biased towards Jason, but I love them all. I am also biased towards Jason. Love him. Love the character development of this Robin who has aggression issues and anger issues and can't really control it and ends up dying. Batman blames himself for it. Later on, he becomes the Red Hood. He's the kind of angsty, edgy Robin, but I really like him in terms of where his character starts and where he goes by the end. Question from Julius. Did you want to do this when YouTube first released? If not, what career choice were you thinking of, or were you not in that subject matter at the time? So originally, I was actually, well, first off, I was, I think, 11 when YouTube came out, so I didn't really have too many career aspirations actually in general, all throughout high school until I was about 19 or 20. They say pick what you're going to be early on. I really couldn't. I couldn't decide on that. I was originally going to be a teacher, though. And I still like the work. I'm trying to, when I look off in the distance, I'm thinking. It's a weird tick I have, I guess. But I still really like the work. I like teaching and that kind of stuff. But there was a lot that really made me dislike it and not enjoy what I was doing. One thing was the whole idea that you can't have a presence online. That's also why I started out by not showing my face, actually. Another thing that made me not like it was just how much they control you and control what you say and what you can do. And it almost seemed like, well, if you want a robot to do this job, why don't you get a robot to do this job? Why do you want me to do it? It was all kinds of stuff like that, along with overworking. And teachers are contracted 40, 45-hour work weeks. That's the expectation. But it seems like they're actually expected to work about 55, 60-hour work weeks. And while I definitely already worked that with YouTube, I didn't enjoy being away from home that much just for work, and plus on top of that recreational stuff. It just got really grating. I didn't enjoy it. By the time I finished college and finished student teaching, I enjoyed what I did while I was there, but I didn't want to do it for the rest of my life at all, really. We have a question from John Marston, who somehow survived, being in the Old West and actually making it to 2020. So that's pretty impressive, John. I want to know what your diet is. That's my question for you. He actually asked, who inspired you to make videos? If no one did, what made you start a channel? So in terms of inspiration, I definitely got a lot from PewDiePie. I really do love his content. I still love his content. I think he's one of the most genuine, interesting people on the platform. And I kind of feel like I have a lot to learn from watching stuff like his videos and stuff, because he doesn't take people seriously. Nothing really bothers him. He just sort of does his thing, and I don't want to say doesn't care, but like if people don't like him, he just doesn't care. Generally, I don't either, but that's something that's annoyed me a little bit over time because I think I'm fairly personable and nice to people. So it's weird to me when people rag on me a little bit. It's not really the biggest deal ever because I was a kid who was actually bullied in high school and middle school. So it's like, I'm used to that. Whatever you can say, I've probably heard 150, 200 times worse. But it's weird to me when I encounter that attitude. And it's something he's seen 100,000 times, and it just doesn't really seem to bother him much. He's even had the media lie about him and call him quite a few things that are not good. So I don't know. That's kind of somebody I want to be, just kind of chill, enjoying my time. And when I joke back with people, somebody who know I'm joking back and don't take it seriously. It seems like lately people think I'm angry at them or something when I sarcastically joke back with them. I don't really know why. But maybe that's on me since it's a pattern. I don't really know. Or maybe I'm just expected not to be in the comments section at this point. I don't really know. So A Gen Z, Suggestions for new YouTubers on how you can gain a fan base of 50K subs, 1K, 10K, etc., etc. So, Agent Z, I think that you need to do your own thing, or at least put a spin on it that other people haven't. I think that for me, one of the big things that made me stand out was just doing the top 5 Arkham videos. And even though since then I've really branched out to a ton of other stuff and I'm not really just like an Arkham channel, just doing that, but I still cover it. I think that that's one of the things that you have to do is not use high value topics for views, but sort of see where your interests and the interests of the public align. So for me, it's like I have all these interests, right? And if I talk about Batman, I see a lot of the public aligns with that. If I talk about Spider-Man, I see a lot of the public aligns with that. Now, will I still talk about Brightburn or Halo or I don't know, Tomb Raider, something like that, Bloodborne? Will I still talk about those things? Yes, I will, but I do them more for personal projects because I know, hey, I could technically, if I wanted to, and I don't do this, but I know, hey, if I wanted to make a Batman Arkham video and not do anything with it, like just 5 best shoelaces in the Arkham series, I'm not making that one as a joke. That's not happening. It's not happening. Don't even ask. If I wanted to do that, right, I know that there's going to be 15,000 people who want to watch that because they're excited about that series. But I know that if I do Halo, there's maybe 5, but I'll still do that 5 thing because I'm passionate about it and care about it. And I'll do that other thing because I'm passionate and care about it. I think that where a lot of people really come across as disingenuous and fake, I suppose, is when they're trying to just chase views only, right? So it's not that that doesn't matter. Views actually do matter, whether you like it or not as an audience member and whether I like it or not as a content creator. They matter. They help channels grow. If YouTube's not seeing interaction with a channel or their videos, they're not seeing likes or dislikes. They both count actually towards helping a creator. If they're not seeing videos get shared, they're not seeing comments, they're not seeing watch time, they're not recommending that channel. It doesn't matter how good what you have to say is. That's the sucky thing. So you could come across with the most profound, intelligent, and this is not me, I'm not saying I've done this, I have not. But you could come off with the most intelligent, profound video of all time, right? You could explain the meaning of life itself. If people don't watch it, your channel doesn't grow. So it's kind of a thing where you have to watch what you're doing, watch what people want to see, meet in the middle and find where those areas connect. So I would say focus more on doing what you are passionate about and what you want to do and less on the numbers. Once I stopped paying as much attention to the numbers, whether it's likes, dislikes, subscriber growth, stuff like that, I've been a lot happier because it's just a very stressful thing. It's not something you can bog yourself down with. Another question from Callagher, who is actually a pal of mine, and I may have had a little bit of selective bias in picking his question. He asks, what inspired you to do YouTube? Where did the name Degenerate Jake come from? And what is your setup for doing Let's Play videos? So Cal, I'm glad you asked. I didn't plant this question. I really didn't know he was asking it. So in terms of my setup, I have over there, I can't really show it very easily in this, but I have a bunch of consoles set up. I can definitely do an office tour at some point if that's interesting to people. I don't know if it is. It's barely interesting sounding, but maybe you guys would like to see that. I have a bunch of consoles set up. I have cords running into the back of my computer, which is into the Elgato 4K, which can record in 4K. Otherwise, I use OBS on a dual monitor setup with a GTX 2070 Super. I had to think about it as well. I know that's not all my system specs or everything going on, but essentially I have a dual monitor setup here in front of me, a TV over there, and then consoles under it, and the computer here with the dual monitor setup. And depending on if I'm on the computer, I use OBS. If I'm on the consoles, I use Elgato 4K. If I'm streaming, I use the Elgato HD60S because it's easier to stream with and has more tools actually for some reason. I don't know why. So that is what I use for those things. So our next question is from BackXZ. Who's your favorite YouTuber? PewDiePie. It's PewDiePie. All the way. Depression Plays 508. I'm feeling your name, bro. I'm feeling your name, actually. What makes you love Halo? I am a fan myself, and I love the lore, the most it builds of the games in total. So I think that is what really drew me into Halo. There's a lot of things, and some of them are more in depth, I guess, than others. For example, Master Chief is just awesome. Like, that's a very shallow reason why I like Halo. But at the end of the day, I love the character development. Not looking at you, Halo 5, I think you had bad character development. Sorry, not sorry. Please be better in Infinite. But I love how Master Chief is just this stalwart. Is that how you say it? Stalwart figure. He stands tall. He's always defending Earth. Even when he's left by himself in a situation like Halo 4, he gives up everything for the people of Earth. It's just a very selfless story that's very Superman-like and interesting. But I also love the lore, how the Spartan 4s were these children kidnapped early on in their lives and indoctrinated and trained to become these soldiers and killing machines. And essentially they have a lot of their humanity stripped from them. But Master Chief still has things that tether him to being a human, like some personal connections and Cortana, for example. I love that kind of stuff. I love the lore of the Covenant, whether it's, the Sangheili, the Jiralhae? I always forget the name of them. The elites, the brutes, the jackals, the grunts, they all have great lore. The flood lore is super interesting. I actually have an entire book about the Halo encyclopedia. So it's definitely the lore for me too. I think the gameplay is really fun. I think the game looks good. They usually look good, but at the end of the day, it is the story in that one and the world building and all that stuff that really keeps me involved. A question from Mikel: how's your current work situation, besides YouTube in this pandemic? So this kind of has two answers. I'll go over very briefly. I worked as a catering attendant, which means that I would work at weddings and stuff like that. Also, I keep putting my hand up here because I don't know what is actually in frame right now. For some reason, I can't see. But anyways, I worked as a catering attendant, catering for weddings and stuff like that. I am going to go back there like one day a week for a little while. Eventually, I plan to just do YouTube, but I'm not in a position where I'm like self-sufficient yet. It's really hard to do that at under 100K subs in terms of if you plan for YouTube to be your thing. It's also, how do I say this? It's also weird because a lot of people have a boomer mentality, even young people. Some young people have a boomer mentality. I've noticed it very, very rarely on the channel though. I think most people here are smart enough to not think this way in terms of like really talking down on this as a profession. Like, oh, why are you doing that? Why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? Why would you want something without job security? And it's like, dude, I can tell you my dad had like the most job security in the world, and the company fraudulently fired the staff and rehired them so that they didn't have to pay them their work benefits. Like, jobs with job security can still get you screwed over. So it's like, you know what? I'll take my chances where I'm kind of my own boss and can have a good time and not hate myself. Because I used to work in life insurance or Social Security disability insurance. And I absolutely hated myself. Like, I literally wanted to die. And that's kind of what pushed me this direction in terms of my current work situation. But I will go back for a while to where I was working for a little bit. Not the Social Security disability stuff. I hated that. I quit. But the wedding catering. Losing my mind. I also have done substitute teaching stuff, but I don't really do it anymore. It's underpaid, a lot more work than you'd think, and kids are really, really not very nice to you. So it kind of hits a point where you think, why am I doing this? I don't know. I don't have no passion for it anymore. I like working with younger people and actually teaching, and I have a degree in English, which I do find fascinating. I love storytelling and that kind of stuff, but I guess at the end of the day, I want to be happy. This job, as stressful as it's been for me and as workaholic as I've gotten, which I need to calm down on and stop pushing myself to make stuff, this has been the happiest I've been at a job where I haven't actually hated myself and what I do. I know that might be a little too deep for that question. I don't know why I'm venting here. Naked Snake asked, will you do Metal Gear Solid reviews to go with this meme? That was me trying to do a David Hayter, but my throat is dead today. I would love to do Metal Gear Solid reviews. Like I said, I have been branching out, trying to do other stuff as well. I would love to do that at some point. I definitely want to play the first Metal Gear on the Let's Play channel, which, hey, if you're not subscribed to, you should check that out because that channel's not doing that great. It hurts my feelings. No, it doesn't really, but I think you'd like it. I think we have a good time over there. That's Degenerate Plays. That is in the description below. We're playing a bunch of games down there, and we'll be finishing some up and starting new ones soon, actually. We have a question here from Matthew Champion. Matthew says, would you give up all gaming for 20 years if your reward at the end was becoming a Jedi Master? And I will tell you I wouldn't, because other than Yoda, their shelf life is pretty minimal. New question from, I think it's Lakubal the Lord, but it's Lakuba 7 the Lord. So either way, we got it right here. Question from them. They said, are you planning to play a Metal Gear game on Degenerate Plays? If so, which one? Metal Gear Solid 1? I think 1 through 4 eventually. I would like to play 5, I don't know. I'm giving the Let's Play channel till the end of the year. This is just full transparency, and I want to see where it's at then. If no one cares about it at all at that point, like I'm just working hours on this a week and no one's watching it, it doesn't make any money. No offense, that is a consideration because I have to buy the games for it and stuff. It takes up a lot of my time that I could be using for other videos in my work, all this stuff. If like no one's interested in it, I don't know how many games we'll get through. Games that we start, we're typically trying to finish though. And in terms of Metal Gear, I think 1 through 5, if the Let's Play channel sticks around, but that's me hoping it does. And even if it doesn't, I won't delete the channel. I would probably still post there occasionally. It's more just a time thing that I need to see about. Question from Mason. Jay, my question is, do you get annoyed when I say I have a question, but don't say my question? Yes, I do, Mason. Yes, I do. Liam Nope, says, what is your favorite 5 games of all time? Now, believe it or not, I don't know if an Arkham title will be on here. I have to think about it. Some of these are going to be nostalgia picks, so just bear with me. My favorite game of all time is Fallout New Vegas, for sure. I'm not going to pick other Fallout games for this list because I feel like that's unfair because I'd probably follow it up with 3 or 4 right away. I love both those games, but I'd say Fallout New Vegas is my favorite game of all time, I think. I'm actually going to have to probably put Super Smash Bros. Ultimate up here as well. I don't know if it's number 4, but it is in the top 5, actually, for sure. I love that game. I would say, you know what? I'm between Arkham City and Arkham Asylum for this pick. So we'll say one of those. I can't really pick. I go back and forth on it. I'm sorry. I even love Origins and Night as well. I am a simp for the series. I would definitely also say that I love Skyrim. I have a lot of childhood memories of Skyrim. This is a bit nostalgic. It was my dad's favorite game before he passed away, and we played it all the time. We had hundreds of hours in it together where we'd make characters together, go around and explore and play and talk and just talk about stuff. Trying not to tear up. My dad passed away last year from cancer, so that's kind of a big deal. I haven't been able to play the game since. It's definitely one of my favorites. Sorry. But it really does mean a lot to me. Another one is Halo, for sure. I love Halo to death, partially for the same reason. So a question here from Eli. I was going to say Ellie, I'm sorry. What games, movies, or characters are you planning to make videos for the main and Let's Play channel? Okay, games, first off. A lot more why a superhero game is hard to make. I love those. I know they don't all, pull in gangbuster views and stuff like that, whatever. But I love making them. I have a lot of fun with them. And it just lets me talk out ideas. I have a lot of ideas and no talent in terms of making anything. So it makes me feel good to talk about something. The other stuff I want to cover, other than just that, I want to cover the Metal Gear games, the Halo games as well. I would like to cover some other exclusive stuff. I don't know if Last of Us is interesting to you guys. Kingdom Hearts, sometimes. I don't think people here much care or know what it is, just from judging by the 5 things it did right in the Let's Play channel, which is totally fine. I used to think it was cringe AF, and I hated looking at it from the outside. Now that I'm a fan, I love it. More Spider-Man. Maybe some more COD. The From Software games, definitely. Injustice and other WB games and Mortal Kombat, all that stuff. Maybe Bethesda stuff. Maybe some Fallout, stuff like that. In terms of movies, I do want to do reviews of the MCU movies, the Fox X-Men movies, some horror stuff. I would like to also do more reviews of the DC animated movies. We are behind on that, and the reasoning is because it's really hard for T and I to actually get copies of these movies. I don't think you could see them. Maybe you can see some. No, I don't think you can, but there's like a top shelf up to my upper right, which has a bunch of them on it and a Batman Funko, and I think it's out of frame. But I have about half of them, and I've watched others through rental and stuff like that, so that's why that's taking so long. We will probably continue that when I get back from my trip, which, I think I'm back on the 9th or something like that, or the 10th. So we will have to see about that. Final question from the day, because I'm just running out of time and this video is going to be very long. From a point of view, are you going to be playing any of the previous Spider-Man games in the future and making videos on them? Like Spider-Man 2, Ultimate, Web of Shadows, amazing games. Like your videos, man. Keep up the great work. Big fan of both Spider-Man and Batman. Well, first off, I appreciate you. Please keep up being awesome. I mean that. Secondly, in terms of doing more content from previous Spider-Man games, yes, I have ideas for like 5 best Spider-Man games that are not the PS4 or PS5 Spider-Man, Marvel Spider-Man. I have ideas for the 5 best Batman games that are not Arkham. Some of that is collecting them. You're going to see some behind me that well, maybe it's over here. I don't know how much of this you can see, but I have been collecting games again and trying to get things rolling in terms of my collection so I can play with stuff. Sorry for bumping the mic. But some of it I just don't have yet, like Batman Vengeance, I need to get a copy of. Rise of Sin Tzu, I think is how you say that. Begins, I'm missing all 3 of those. I'm missing Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions and Edge of Time. So that's like 5 games right there that I need to actually pick up that I'm still missing. Some of these have gotten very expensive and hard to afford if you're buying a lot of them. So over time, yes. Sorry we haven't gotten to it yet. Obviously, we're getting there. So hey, I think I can get rid of that. I do want to thank you very much. Thank you so much for the 50K subs. I really do appreciate it. It's crazy to me that people want to watch this much. I look at myself and I think I'm just kind of a stuttering nerd who talks fast because he's nervous and doesn't have a lot to say. I feel like I have stuff to offer, but don't always know how to offer it in terms of my ideas and stuff like that. And while there will definitely be people who don't like me like anybody else, that's totally fine. The amount of people who do enjoy my stuff and genuinely like me and like what I make is kind of crazy to me. It's really surreal. It does mean a lot. And I'm not just saying that. I mean, it's weird. I was not someone who was popular ever in high school or anything like that. My goal with YouTube is not to be popular. It's to make things that people enjoy. It's nuts. It's honestly nuts. It's surreal. It's weird, but it means the world to me and I really appreciate it. And I hope to join you again on something like this near future, 75K, something like that. We do another big Q&A like this. I don't know. Also, this is not changing how the channel is much. Now, Nate will also be in some face reveal stuff. I mean, like in videos. He wasn't here today, obviously. But I mean, we might do some face stuff in certain things, like maybe a movie review or something like that, instead of just straight gameplay, because I think that gets boring for people. I don't know. But a lot of our content will stay exactly the same. When I'm reviewing a comic, I'm sure I will be in it. I've been kind of waiting to do that for the face reveal. Cover stuff, like I'd love to talk about Doomsday Clock and the DC timeline and stuff like that. But I've been waiting on that. And when we're in videos like that, definitely we'll be in it. Maybe some vlog stuff lightly, not much. Like if we go to a convention or something. But other than that, the channel's not changing that much. We're going to be focusing on other stuff too, obviously, like we always have. But that's it, you know? Same old me. You know what I look like now. I need to work on the old fitness. At least I've got kind of some triceps, but like half of it's like fat. So we're getting there. I don't know. You know what I look like now. So I appreciate you. Have a fantastic day. Stay shway. Let me know what you think about this in the comments down below. It was really weird for me.